We'll just do that. We'll just start it. I haven't figured out how to introduce the podcast yet. Because I always say hello, and then I'm like, oh, it sounds so cheesy.
I lean into the cheese.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
Hello!
hey.
It's your host, Leah Janine. This is How to Do Drugs.
All right. That's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm working on it. It's a progress. I think you are going to be episode number 27 for this one.
Ooh, that's the year all the druggies die, isn't it?
All the cool ones.
Yeah, all the coolest ones.
Yeah, and today we have Krystyna Hutchinson, everybody, from the Guys We Fucked podcast, which I have been on.
You have.
You guys have blown up. That's so amazing.
Thanks.
I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are going to be in, what is it, Moon Tower?
Yep.
I saw the poster with the company.
Yeah, we're like, can you make us look like we're riding a bull? And our animator was like, yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you have your own animator.
Yeah, or designer. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited for Texas.
Where is that one? Is that in Austin? Or?
Austin, Texas.
Austin.
Yeah, we're going to do a live Guys We Fucked on the 25th, which we rarely do live versions of the podcast. So when we do, we make them wild.
Is it like super fun? Like you have games and like
crazy
it's
interactive and we'll get weird.
I love it. So this podcast is obviously about drugs. I think we've done drugs together a couple of times.
Probably. Yeah, we smoked weed.
We definitely smoked pot together.
Yeah, I smoke pot with,
everybody.
Love weed.
Yeah, weed is one of our favorites. I know we've gotten drunk together, or we've been drunk in the same places together.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is one of your favorite drugs?
I would say weed.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have these mushroom chocolates that are apparently, I've had a lot of my friends do them, and they're very intense.
Okay.
They're more intense than just doing mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And Corinne actually has done them with me. We did them at a Tool concert. We were 8th row.
Nice. I've done mushrooms at a Tool concert.
It was great. It was one of my favorite concert experiences, and aside from Beyonce. But yeah, Corinne tried them, I remember, at that concert, and she was like, I think that's those are beyond mushrooms. I don't know what the fuck's in them, but they kind of remind me of acid. I'm like, oh really? I've never done acid.
Okay.
So I can't tell. But yeah, I love these mushroom chocolates, but they put you on a weird plane. Like you I don't know. Mushrooms do something to me emotionally where if I do too much, it's not good.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, too much of anything can be bad, but it also depends on like your frame of mind or where you are at that place. And I guess like different mushrooms also have different types of effects. I don't know, like my buddy actually just started growing mushrooms, and he's like, I think they're like bluebells or something, and I'm like, there's different kinds? I thought it was just one kind. He's like, oh yeah, so.
Maybe it's because mushrooms, if I'm pretending I'm being happy and I'm trying to trick myself, mushrooms are like, nah, bitch, you sad. So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
You just made me realize that.
That is because mushrooms they can like bring out some stuff, but like it's good for therapy. Like I like microdosing, like over quarantine. I found myself, I did a lot of self-care and like dug deep into the trauma, and should be like, well, now is the best time than any, because you can't project it onto anybody else.
Right. Right before quarantine hit, I had one of the worst drug experiences of my life.
Okay.
With mushrooms. I did them with a guy I met in the ER. I was there with my friend who was in the ER for mushrooms. Those chocolates, they're really intense.
Oh my god.
He couldn't, they didn't agree with his system, and he turned gray and kept passing out. And I was like, okay. Like, there was 3 of us, we were hanging out, and we all did these mushroom chocolates that I've done many times before. That's why I felt safe giving them to a friend. Like, because I knew what they were about. And this one particular friend did them, and he's done harder drugs than that, so I was like, oh, he'll be fine. And then he kept turning gray and passing out. And then he would, like, wake up in a cold sweat, no color to it, like, and it was really freaky. And he did it, like, 4 times. We're like, we're taking you to the ER. And we met this guy, the head nurse at the ER, this guy named Mohammed, and shout out, he dressed like a pirate. He dressed like Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. And he had, like, gauges, and some of his fingers were bent back, and he said he was a child soldier, back in his original country, and I was like, I love you.
Right.
Like, I was like, do you want to be me? I think I want to make out with you. I don't know.
You're just high as hell on mushrooms, and you're like, this is the most amazing person I've ever seen.
He's saving my friend.
Yeah.
And then he grows his own mushrooms, and so one day he like came to a couple comedy shows of me and my friend who went to the ER, and then one day in March before COVID was like a big thing, we went to Roosevelt Island. It was a beautiful day. This was the first time I ever did mushrooms that looked like actual dried up mushrooms.
Oh yeah, no, they're disgusting.
It was
yeah.
And when I closed my eyes, it was a cartoon, and when I opened my eyes, it was a cartoon, and I was like, no, this is not. And I started weeping.
Oh no!
Like, I started weeping as if my heart had been broken 100 times.
Oh, like just all at once.
All at once. I've never felt this sadness in my whole life, and I'm like, I think that was a sadness I wouldn't let myself feel as a kid because there was a lot of childhood trauma, and I was feeling it. It was so traumatic. Like, I wanted to kill myself. Like, the come down. I made Corinne and my friend Wendy Starling, come over, and I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. You have to come over. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do it, but I really want to. And I need you. And they're like, cool, we'll come over. And then I was just crying and drooling all over myself, but gotta say, never felt better since.
Right, the next day you're like, yeah, you probably needed to feel that.
Oh my God.
And get it out. Do you cry a lot regularly?
All the time.
Really?
yeah. I do. I cry a lot. I'm not scared to cry. If I feel a cry coming on, I let myself do it.
I can't. I don't, like, every
really?
once, it's hard for me. Like, I know that I need to, and, like, I'll feel the buildup, and honestly, like, the way I make myself cry about things that I need to cry about, I have to think about, like, my dog dying. Or,
you, like, imagine things.
Yeah.
Oh, I got plenty of memories that
make me sad enough to cry about what I need to cry about.
Oh.
And then I'll try to get in that frame of mind and be like, okay, now, and then, like, sometimes I'll just stop crying. I'm like, why won't you let me cry?
Well, I can very easily access this feeling of not being loved as a child. So it's right there below the surface.
Yeah, like, I used to be really good at it, like, on command.
Well, maybe you don't have stuff to cry about right now.
I don't know.
You just don't have it in you.
Sometimes I feel like it's good. It's a good release of negative energy and all that stuff. And normally the next day, most of the time, you do feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, I want that after cry feel. Like, that kind of happy.
It is nice.
Well, like, it's almost like a revelation. It's, like an epiphany of some sort. I've had, I'm trying to think, because I've never really seen anything while on mushrooms. Like cartoon stuff. Like, stuff will move, like marble floor.
Oh, right, the patterns.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But
nothing
has ever popped out. Like, DMT, that's like, I smoked some DMT and I was here by myself and everything, like, boop, 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 it was fucking amazing.
Wait. Isn't DMT you're supposed to, like, you pass out for 10 minutes and you, like, meet your maker or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I guess, it's different for everybody. I have a really good, I've taken a lot of hallucinogenics. That's, like, always been, like, my number one favorite drug.
Well, maybe you worked out all your stuff, and that's why you're not allowed to cry about.
Maybe.
Because it's so therapeutic. The studies on microdosing this stuff is...
Yeah, it is
phenomenal.
I did do a lot of it over quarantine. Cried a little bit over quarantine. But I know sometimes I'll just cry over dumb shit too. Like, any video of any animal on the internet, all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, I am a human. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't.
Wait, what does DMT do?
Okay, so it's not, it's a very strong hallucinogenic. It's part of, I guess it's like a derivative of ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts about 15-20 minutes.
That's my kind of drug.
Yeah, you smoke it. Yes, it's very intense. And that, besides, being up on 3 days from meth, this is the first time I have ever seen, like, hallucinations. Like, I was sitting here, and, like, there'd be swirls. Oh, like purple swirls, and then, like I said, I looked outside.
Colored. Oh, wow.
It was super colorful. Oh my god, insane! And like I put some like hippie shit on the fucking screen, and it looked like it was like 3D coming out. And then I looked outside, and then it was like the buildings, like it went from the ground, and everything just turned into a cartoon. I was like, this is the best drug.
That sounds exactly like that mushroom trip I had.
Yeah.
Wow. And it only lasts for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't last that long, 15-20 minutes. You could do more, but it's like it doesn't, like, the effect kind of wears off. You do too much of something and then...
Yeah, it loses its power.
It loses its kind of...
Is there a healing qualities to DMT?
I can see that. I know comedian Sean Moses, he talks a lot about like DMT trips and stuff like that, and how he's seen like people. I've never had that, like, well, except for on meth, but that's a different story.
So my latest kick is aliens and how they're like real.
Yes.
I've watched pretty much every documentary on Amazon, Hulu, HBO, Showtime, Netflix, like all of them.
Okay.
Because they all interview like the same. If you watch most of them, you're gonna see the same like cast of people, like ex-government workers, and they're real as hell. I mean, it's wild how we're not all talking about this all the time. Like, it's crazy how real they are. And, like,
I believe aliens are more real than, like, God.
And they're peaceful, and like they always show up around nuclear testing sites around the world.
Yeah.
Every country's military. It's like the one thing every country has in common is our militaries have all spotted these like alien spacecrafts, and there's since like the beginning of time, basically. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. Now that I'm like
space.
Yeah, like on this alien kick, I'm like, oh, I want to do hallucinogenic and like communicate with them. I don't know if that's possible. I'm just making.
Ooh, I mean, it would be like I had a joke. I put it on Twitter about how I think that like if aliens are controlling us, like we're some game or like an experiment for them, like we're the Sims for them. I'm like, you fucking suck. Whoever plays me fucking sucks.
Well, I think it's the humans that suck, and the aliens.
Well,
are
that's
like,
also,
you guys are weird.
Yeah. Oh, someone had tweeted it's like like Earth is the Florida of the universe.
That it makes a lot. Yes, that is. I feel very similarly. I feel very similar.
I don't know who tweeted it, but it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've been down here, like.
Yeah, but they're like any of the recovered like pieces of metal from a spacecraft, like all the elements, like our periodic table of elements on Earth is different from what other life forms have access to. So, and I'm like, that's so cool.
And I always like, what makes you think that they like look weird? You know, like our vision of aliens with like the big eyes or whatever. They could probably look just like us, and we would never know.
There's both. There's both. According to all the witnesses that have been like. Tested and like all studied. There's both.
I want to do drugs and go to space now.
I know, me too.
It's like, who do we have to blow to get enough money to go to space?
Yeah, yeah. Wasn't there something? I think I was reading this correctly. The theory of relativity was like developed during quarantine, like from like the pandemic.
Yeah, no, a bunch of stuff came out.
A lot of good shit came
out. Like a bunch of art and stuff like that, and I think. I saw like there was another like meme or something like that. It's like, oh, it makes sense why all those pictures from the past, all the ladies are fat. It's from because they were stuck in quarantine or something like that. From the Renaissance. Yeah, they were definitely other quarantines. People don't like to remember history though.
They really don't. They forget it. And I'm like, yo,
this is not
important. Well, another thing I learned was like all democracies historically fail. They all come in on each other. I'm like, oh. That makes sense with everything that's happening in America. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's going to happen sooner or later. And it's like, it's really up to us to do something. Right. But we're so complicit with our iPhones and our drug addictions. And people are like, people keep dying from fentanyl. I'm like, well, talk to your government. I'm actually really wondering because... the CIA, like when the Taliban was in Afghanistan, like they had no opium fields, and now, like over the past 20 years, they have tons of opium fields because of the CIA. So it's like, what
did the CIA do to have opium fields in Afghanistan?
Well, it's the same with
any
drugs.
Yeah, no, because when like you talk about enslaving people via prison for drug crimes. Oh my God!
Yeah, no, like our American government is like the biggest drug dealer of them all.
Which is such fucking bullshit. Oh God! Oh, the American government really, it's corrupt.
It's really sucks.
Terrible.
like people are like,
it's bad.
AOC was at the Met Gala in a dress that says "Eat the Rich." I'm like, that's
or tax the rich,
or whatever something. But it was so ironic, and it was just like, I really felt like it was a slap in the face of people. It's like, you of all people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was reading about that, and all New York City officials get invited to those things all the time, and that dress was free.
Oh, well, yeah. No. A lot of them are donated because they want, like, the designer to be shown. But just being there in general. It's like, are you doing business? No, it's a huge party. Are you actually going to be, like, a real politician and try to get things changed or try to get people to donate money? And so I'm just like, you shouldn't be at those things. Because politicians and celebrities, there's no difference anymore. Fucking celebrities have been politicians.
Yeah.
And they've been the worst politicians.
I know.
It's like, again, we don't
there should be term limits on Congress and Senate.
Oh, especially, because those guys are lifers. Like, maybe 8 years or something, whatever.
We shouldn't have anybody over the age of 75.
We have a grandpa. Like, almost a great-grandpa. Isn't he a
and
great
Mitch McConnell, they're so fucking old. Nancy Pelosi,
they look terrifying.
You served your time. See you later.
It's like,
you go do DMT in your desert home.
Right? Go chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really weird.
But part of the reasons I do I smoke weed a lot is it's so easy to get swept up in everything. This whole thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna smoke a little weed, and it's like my antidepressant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then I laugh at this stuff, and I'm like, look, the only thing I have control over in this moment is having fun right now.
Yeah, and just being in the present and being with yourself. I think the government too, they like to just give people drugs.
Oh my god, I went to the ER once for a burst ovary. Or burst cyst, not a burst ovary, my god. Yeah. Burst cyst, ovarian cyst. And I remember they had an IV coming out of my elbow, but nothing was hooked up to it. They just put it there, and then all of a sudden, I was moaning in pain. I was being very loud because it was a lot. It was very painful.
I can imagine.
They injected me with morphine without asking me, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I felt it shoot up my whole body, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And they're like, "It's morphine." I'm like, "Morphine?" You're like, they didn't even ask. I'm like, "This is how people get addicted."
Right away. They don't ask. Most of the time too, they ask you if you have an addiction to certain things, because you can't give an addict that.
Yeah.
You just make them have a fucking relapse.
I know.
There.
Yeah.
Because I had, when I had kidney stones, I had to go to the emergency room. And it was just, but they actually asked, they're like, do you have any issues with drugs? Or are you allergic to anything? Because a lot of people are allergic to a lot of that shit too. And I'm like, no. And the same thing. It's just whoosh, this warmth going up your arm. And I'm like, I can see why people would be
it made me really high, but the pain was still there.
Didn't it go away?
The pain was exactly the way it was. It just made me high. I'm like, I'd kind of rather just feel the pain. I don't know. That's a big one.
I would rather, for me, I have always...
I'm an addict. So.
Yeah, definitely have the addict personality. Yeah, on this, I've never been big on downers or pills and stuff like that. I'll try it, I went on, I tried a bunch of Xanax, a while ago. I was like, I don't know why I did that.
I'm an Adderall gal.
I love, I'm big on...
I love drugs that make me productive.
Yeah, super productive.
And not tired. I'm always tired all the time.
I've taken Adderall. I've tried one of my doctors, because I guess you need a psychiatrist to prescribe Adderall.
Yes.
And this was just a medical doctor, so she gave me this narcolepsy stuff. I forgot what it was called. She's like, it's very similar to Adderall, but it's for it's also for
an amphetamine.
Yeah, it's for work shift disorder. It's like where you're either work third, where someone works third shift and has a hard time sleeping during the day, and so and vice versa. I'm like, because I'm not narcoleptic.
Right.
But she gave me those, and I ended up having to cut those in half.
Wow.
Because I was just like...
Were they more potent than Adderall?
They were so fucking strong.
Wow.
And I just... Because,
Did you get a lot done?
A little bit, but sometimes when I'm that fucking jacked...
You just pace. You're like, oh man, here I am.
I'm just in my thoughts. I'll sometimes if I'm working out bits, I'll try to just leave a recorder on and just talk out loud. But then I'm like, I feel like I'm crazy. I'm like, there's no difference for me right now than a crackhead on the street kind of thing. I'm like, except that I am in an apartment. Right. That is literally the only fucking difference, is that I haven't hit rock bottom like that. Right. I mean, I have once before. Oh shit, I forgot what I was going on about.
This narcolepsy medication.
No, before that. It was something else. No, have you ever hit rock bottom with drugs? Since you like uppers, are you big on coke? Or
I don't like coke. I thought I would like coke, but the times that I've done it a couple times. I eventually realized I do not like sniffing. I can't put a thing on my nose. makes me like throw up. I don't know why. But with the gums, I like learned about the gum thing, but I still didn't. I wanted to like it, but I didn't like it. It made me too anxious.
That makes sense. I like sniffing things. That's
okay. Yeah. I know people who sometimes will do coke and they're calmer. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It's probably because they have ADHD.
I'm like, I mean, I think I have, shades of ADHD for sure. And Adderall really did help, but cocaine does not help.
Cocaine can actually help me more than Adderall.
Wow.
Sometimes, like, especially when I want to write stuff and, like, sit down. Like, if I want to clean and do a bunch of active shit, Adderall is the thing that I'll do. And then, like, once it starts coming down, I can write a little bit. But, yeah, like, doing just little micro bumps of coke, I've noticed that, like, I get a lot more writing done. And I'm more focused on that. So, yeah, there are different, like, levels. It's kind of like autism, where it's like a spectrum.
Right. Cocaine, it's like autism.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. ADHD. Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, cocaine is also like a spectrum. And now it's like, some of that shit's scary to even do.
Oh, well, after I heard about what happened in LA, I'm like, and that's a wrap on me exploring cocaine
any longer. Yeah.
I'd just rather not.
I sent a bunch of people a link so they could buy fentanyl strips.
Yeah, I was just at a drag convention over the weekend, and they were giving out free testing strips for cocaine.
Yeah, which is smart.
And you can get the nasal things if somebody ODs on it and there's fentanyl in it. There's like a nasal thing to bring them out
test to see if it was fentanyl. Yeah.
Or no, to like wake them up apparently.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, one of those little like sniffer things that fucking like gelt you.
Yeah.
Which is, oh my god. Yeah, I've never had fentanyl as far as I know. I mean, I'm still here, so obviously not.
Seems like a pretty lethal drug.
Well, I mean, and who mixes fentanyl with coke? That's
cocaine dealers.
That's the word. Well, I mean, that's really
because that's what it was, right? Like it was laced with that, and they didn't know.
Yeah, it was laced with that, but a lot of dealers, I don't think, want to kill off their clientele.
I would think that I'm like, why the fuck would you make a drug? Would you sell a drug that's killing everybody?
Yeah, I think with something
maybe
like that,
oopsies. It was a terrible, deadly, murderous oopsies.
I think back in the day, like, the whole reason why we have all that fucking protection shit on medications now is because that one woman went and poisoned a bunch of different bottles of Advil or Tylenol or something like that to kill her husband.
Just kidding. Wait, she poisoned a bunch of them?
Yeah, a couple bottles because she didn't know which one he was going to grab. Oh. And then she was planning on getting, them back or something like that, if I remember the story correctly, but she didn't. Yeah, so she ended up killing a bunch of people. That's why there's all, like, the protection seals on that. But something like that, like, people also, that's like a mass murder kind of thing, where it's like if someone is intentionally adding this, and maybe not like low-level dealers like the ones that like we normally deal with, for the most part. Like, this is like higher ups, like, I think, that added in there, or maybe just some like weird psycho dude to be like, let's see who we can kill now. Yeah, I think that's like serial killer type shit.
Yeah,
because you're gonna end up killing a bunch of people at one time. Yeah. I want to know. This is like the reasoning behind that. Like, it makes more sense with heroin because, like, as long as it's a little bit, it can get you high. You know what I mean? It does have like the similar effect, but it's one of those ones that you can't do a lot. It's
right, and I feel like when it's that sensitive to like a little couple grains of it could kill somebody. It's like that's a wrap on. Like, let's just stop making it.
And like,
who's making it? I mean,
and what is it originally? Yeah, and like what? Well, yeah. like what is it originally for? Well, I mean, people, like a lot of people,
Michael Jackson died of it, right? In Prince?
I thought, was it fentanyl or was it just opioids in general? It could have been.
There was fentanyl mixed in.
Probably. Now that maybe.
I don't know.
Because I don't think like you could just prescribe fentanyl.
I mean, the thing, like, yeah. I guess so. I don't know anything about it.
Well, I mean, because, like, ketamine, because I remember when I was younger, my mom, because she's a nurse and stuff like that, she's like, oh, we use, ketamine, it's like, it can be part of an epidural. A lot of times. Yeah, even like that horse medication, quote unquote, like they do make human versions of it as well. Which is like, I'm not for it, but yeah, people are like, that's horse medication. It's like, well, so is fucking ketamine, but people are taking that now for depression. Like, a lot of the drugs are similar because we're all fucking mammals, you retards.
Right, and none of us are happy and we're not talking about it. It's like, maybe we fill the void with something that wasn't a substance, or we are at least comfortable talking about it, there'd be a chance that we would not be all addicted to drugs.
I think people need to talk about it more. My mom, she takes a lot of antidepressants, but she's still always depressed because she doesn't talk to anyone about anything.
Yeah, Gabor Mate is this great author that I've been reading lately, and he talks about, like, we all know why drug addiction is bad, but no one asks what's good about it. Like, what does it give you that you wouldn't have without it? Like, this warm feeling loved, feeling listened to, feeling whatever it is. That's what you got to pay attention to.
Filling that void, the reason why a lot of people, like, use. There's also just, like, different people have different brains. There's, like, that addictive part of your brain where it's just, like, and sometimes it's not even, like, you may consciously not want to do this anymore, but your brain is like, I need to do this. It's like me and smoking. It's like anytime I quit and I see someone, my brain's like, you want that. I'm like, no, I don't.
Cigarettes, you're talking about? Yeah. I quit smoking. And high five. So... Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit is the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I've been wanting to quit I've been saying I wanted to quit for a while, and then I actually wanted to quit, and then I quit, and then I didn't, and then I, whatever. So this book is, this is what got me to quit. He ruins smoking for you.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't actually like it. You override the disgusting sensation of it. And I was like, nah. And then he encourages you to smoke until you're done with the last page of the book.
Okay.
It's like, keep smoking while you're reading this. It's imperative. And then, like, you're reading it, you're 3/4 of the way through, you go outside and smoke a cigarette, and you're like, ugh, that motherfucker ruined smoking for me. And, like, you get pissed.
You get pissed off. Because I've tried quit. I quit like 5 times. I've quit, obviously relapsed all of those times.
Yeah, it's very common.
And it's always around, like, the 8th or 9th month mark where, it's always, like, I almost make it a year, but, like, I'll be out and, like, I'll have a couple drinks. I'm like, I could just have one.
Oh, and then do you immediately go back into, like,
what was the last time, actually, like, I was keeping packs of cigarettes at the stand, at the old stand on 3rd, like, behind the bar, be like, okay, if I'm here, I could smoke, and then all of a sudden, I took the pack home with me, and then, it's just this slippery slope.
Well, right, that's the thing, he's like, you can never have just one. There's never just one, ever,
It's the same with drinking. It's like, you cannot just have one.
Yeah, drinking I can.
Well, I mean, for, like, alcoholics. And,
right.
People...
Cigarettes I could not.
Yeah.
Cigarettes I could not. Yeah.
It's hard.
My sensitive stomach is why I can absolutely only have one drink or not drink with alcohol because my stomach hurts a lot, like with sugars. So that's if I associate with a stomach ache, like weed actually makes my stomach feel better.
Oh, that's good. So you don't really drink that much?
Yeah, it depends. I'll go in phases where I'm like, let's party, because drinking's very fun.
Oh yeah, drinking's so fun.
It's so fun. I love getting tanked every once in a while.
It is a good thing every once in a while. I've been behaving on the drinking, especially after quarantine, like going out slowly. Like I'll just get wasted every time I go out. I'm like, I don't need to do this every time I go out just because I haven't been out in so long.
And yep.
And so now I'm going out more and I'm like, I could only have, look at me only having one. It took me about a month to like get acclimated back into that because I kept talking about it. I'm like,
you have to coach yourself.
You really, really do.
Yeah,
you really do. With back to the smoking, I've taken Zyban, which helps with like the mental part of it, like the mental cravings, like you need to have that, because that is what gets me, because nicotine is out of your system, what do they say?
Pretty shortly after you're done smoking.
Like 3-4 days or something.
Yeah, and it is, nicotine's very highly addictive, but you can get over that addiction part of nicotine very quickly. Like, it's not like you need to go to rehab for nicotine withdrawals.
No, although I think they may have, like, Smoker Anonymous.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's mentally, it's a lot, like, I mean, the anger. I went through the first week, I was so fucking angry, but I really think that a lot of it was attributed to if I want something, I allow myself to have it.
Same.
And so that was the trickiest part. I'm like, but I want it now. Like, I'm like, the chicken.
I was denied so many things for so long.
Yeah. I'm like, but I want it, and I deserve it, and I can have it. Like, it's just getting over my inner brat was the biggest obstacle.
Oh, I don't know. Me and my brat brat's really good.
Mine too.
Yeah.
You can overcome it. Honestly, if I could do it, I'm like queen of finding excuses.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so good at justifying things. It's literally one of like my most toxic traits. It's just being able to justify anything that I do. Yeah. Even if it's horrible, I will find to be like,
I mean, look at the human population and all the abhorrent activity people do. Like, it's terrible.
It's so bad. But I like. There's been things that like, oh, if you're gonna go smoke by a garbage can, and I go do that.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Just because you associate with the garbage and the smell of the garbage with the smoking, and I'm like, but I live in New York. Everything smells like garbage, so
especially in the summer.
It doesn't really matter. So I've tried a lot of those like little like brain things. I ate a lot of candy. It's also just that hand to mouth. It really is the habit for me.
And in social situations, I like getting away from everybody for a second. I love that.
That is, that's also another big factor is that I am like, so like I love, when I go out and I'm great, but a lot of times I like to go out and just smoke. Yeah. And just be by myself sometimes, although normally you're not by yourself, but it's just a different group of people.
Yeah, just a smaller amount of people,
Yeah, and that is something that... And when you don't smoke, it's like, I'm just going to go outside for 10 minutes.
Look around and then come back in. Which you could technically do.
Oh, yeah. I had, like, the vape for a while, too, and that. But I noticed, because, like, I'll start biting my nails when I quit and stuff. Yeah. So it's a little bit deeper than just, like, the smoking
You have to,
thing.
like, it's like, when you quit smoking, it's like brain Olympics is how I can describe it. Because you really have to, your mind is like a tool that you have as a person, and if you are not your mind, so you have to like have some separateness from your mind, and then when your mind takes over your inner brat or whatever, you have to really put your foot down and go, no, we're not doing that. Like you have to
make a conscious effort.
You have to talk back to the thoughts and redirect and re-steer, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't talk back. Maybe that's the thing.
I think that's the trick, because it's like learning an instrument. It's muscle memory. It's learning how to play piano. It's anything. You have to go. It's not going to be easy, but you remold the clay. Yeah. Like you
you're reprogramming and
but that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of concerted effort.
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot over quarantine. That's a lot more.
It's a lot. It is. But you do it if you want to, and if you don't, it's okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I want to, but it's like, do you really want to?
You might not want to. Yeah.
With certain
and it helps. Like the only person in my parents, that's why I kept the fact that I smoked from them, because my mom would, even though they smoked packs every day. They did quit, but my mom's still on the gum. But they would give me a hard time. But no one else in my life gave me a hard time. Like every once in a while people would, but I'm like, and that would piss me off. Yeah. But like it was nice that like my friends, like Corinne was always like, Kate, you're gonna smoke? Just smoke. It's fine. Like that made me. I'm very, like, shamey in my head, like a lot of people are. So that would have only made, like, the reason I started smoking a shitload, I blame it on this, and I really do think it's true. I don't think I'm just being a brat. But my ex-boyfriend, my long-term ex-boyfriend, I remember when we first started dating, I was only smoking when I drank. And he had dated this Stoya, like, right before me, who smoked a shitload. And I remember one day, like, in the beginning of our relationship, he was like, it was sexy when Stoya smoked, but it's not sexy when you smoke. And I was like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck did you just fucking say to me?
That's insane.
And I was like, oh, I will be a sexy smoker. And instead of, like, dumping him or, like, I should have, I just smoked more.
Oh, just prove. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, really, it was me versus
self-destructive,
me. But boy, did that really get my goat.
That's a horrible. Well, now.
It made me want to smoke more in his face.
Yeah.
Which was, defeatist to both myself and him. It's just stupid.
That is a fucking story.
That
is
like
a horrible
23
thing.
when he said that to me, and I'm like, fuck you, I'll show you.
A lot of, because when I went in, because I had uterine cancer and stuff, and...
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I'm
but
fine now.
No more?
Yeah, no more uterus,
Okay.
Yeah, completely gone. But the doctor had said, he's like, he's like, do you smoke? And I'm like, yeah, and because I live in a non-smoking building, So I only smoke a little bit when I'm at home, like when I walk my dog. So like maybe 4 or 5 cigarettes a day, which is a lot. Because if I was here and I could smoke, probably a pack easily.
Wow,
like not all the time, but absolutely. Like I've always, if it's there and I'm allowed to,
it's comforting,
for sure. But he did the same thing. He was just like, he's like, well. He's like, you're old enough to know. He's like, and he's like, I know, it's bad. He's like, okay, well, if you ever need help quitting. So, like, he didn't, like, put that pressure on me.
It's helpful.
My mom didn't. Well, I mean, she let me smoke in my room when I was a teenager. Because everyone in her family smoked.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't a smoker. I think her and her sister, my aunt, they're the only ones who don't smoke. But everyone else smoked. Dad smoked.
Yeah, so it was just around.
Yeah, so it wasn't, like... that big of a deal. Now I think with younger generations and stuff, I don't think there are as many...
Not a lot of smokers, there's a lot of vapors.
So, yeah, I have a couple bits about that.
A lot of vapors.
A lot of vapors, which I guess, like, that's also, like, fucking up people.
Yeah, I think anything...
Robot cancer or something.
I love, like, when you're, like, a crowd and then all of a sudden you just see this plume of
right.
vape smoke and you're like, ah.
And some of them are just flavored, you know, and so it actually smells kind of nice, but then you realize you're just smelling in someone else's CO2.
Yeah. Virus-ridden exhale.
No, especially be like, what germs are in that cloud?
Yeah.
Is that the swine flu?
Yeah.
I think I see that. So how old were you when you first started experimenting? Were you pretty young, or were you a little bit older?
Drinking, I was 16, but very lightly. And then weed, I didn't smoke until I was 18.
Oh, wow, so you're a little bit older with that.
Yeah, and I didn't smoke cigarettes until, I smoked a couple maybe in high school to try to fit in, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I didn't start smoking until I was in my, like, mid-20s, like, smoking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was a smoker, I think, like, the first couple times was, like, 14, 15, and then 16, I was a full-blown.
Yeah.
Newport 100.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I've been very loyal. Well, no, I haven't. I tried Camel Menthol Lights for a while.
Okay.
I liked those, and then it was Mar Menthol Lights, and then Mar Menthol Ultra Lights.
Okay.
I tried, that's when I was, like, quitting. I'm like, I'll just start cutting down.
Yeah.
And then this will be my quit date. Yeah, that was just, like, smoking air. Those things were so disgusting. I tried the Camel Menthol Lights again, because I'm like, because Newport 100s is it's a strong...
I can't do Newports, can't do Camp. I can't. I was but American Spirits, like, some argue, like, they're harsher, but I don't know,
Well, they don't have any drugs in them. They don't have any chemicals. It's just mostly tobacco.
Mostly, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, there's like preservatives or whatever, but yeah, it's mostly tobacco. That's why they're more expensive or whatever. Yeah. I tried switching to those, and then I realized I'm like, oh no, I really like the chemicals.
Yeah.
I love arsenic. Like, is that fibers or whatever? I'm like, give me some of those too. Yeah, I tried to smoke a bunch of different kinds. Like, smoking non-menthol is disgusting.
Wow.
To me, like, people are, like, if I run out of cigarettes, which I never, ever do, because I'm a professional smoker, but it's a rare case that I do. Someone will try to give me a Mar Menthol light or something. I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
I'll survive.
There is a romance to smoking that I did experience and I enjoyed.
Yeah, it is. I really do think that there's two types of people in the world, like smokers and non-smokers, and then the psychopaths that get to do it only when they drink.
I know some of those. I know some people like that. I want to be one of those.
Yeah, right? Like, that's the coolest thing ever.
I would love to be that. Yeah.
I am not one of those people. I tried every time and be like, no, my brain just likes it more.
Yeah.
I am, like, every time I think about quitting, I'm like, I really should. Like, bitch had cancer. Like, I should quit. But then I'm like, you only live once, and if it's something that I enjoy...
So you let your mind,
I'm
let your
letting
brain
my
go,
mind.
Let's hop in a spun car.
This is so fun. And being like, I'm going to be 43 this year, I don't look that bad for a white woman who smokes. It could be a lot worse. Like, people, like, from older generations who are my age now, they look like they were, like, 80.
Yeah.
I'm like, the skincare or something, I don't know.
Yeah, drink water.
A lot of water, and also, like, the Native Americans, so that helps. Cheekbones are up high, so... Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
but
I
if you love smoking,
I actually kind of do.
Some people really love it, and it's okay. We all do shit that's terrible for us. Like, it's, I really
breathing.
Yeah, this fucking shit air. Yeah, sure. You know, I can't imagine smoking weed all the time is that much better than cigarettes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I smoke marijuana. Like I don't do it via edible. Like I smoke it, so I can't imagine that's good.
No, I mean it's not great, but it doesn't.
I love smoking weed.
I love smoking weed so much too. I actually, because there's been like studies and stuff that are like, oh, smoking weed can actually help prevent cancer. So
really,
certain types, yeah. I'm like obviously not uterine.
Right. Well, human beings have cannabinoid receptors in our cells. Yeah. So it's like we have cells that are made to do that, like, which is where the CBD stuff comes in, and I know it's like all the rage now. But like, I have like seeing a nutritionist for the first time because my stomach's always been fucked up. So I'm like, I want to do like a genetic testing for like what foods can I eat, and she was saying like we have cannabinoid receptors in you know, our body. I'm like, oh, well then shit, I'm gonna keep smoking.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I quit because that's also right around the time. That's when I started experimenting with drugs in general, like 14, 15, 16. I quit smoking weed for like 2.5, 3 years. Like when I went to school to be a cop, was when I quit. I'm like I was like, okay, I guess I have to quit smoking pot. And then me and this dude I was dating at the time, we were in the same class together. We were, you know, in the police training together. Just got back from this concert and we were super drunk and we found a fucking bag of nugs like coming out of the concert and we both picked it up. We're like, oh my god, and we took it.
Did they pee test you or did they?
No. This was just during training. Yeah, it was like right towards the end of training. So we didn't like we were gonna smoke it like, you know, after we were finished. I think we had like a week left of training if I remember correctly. And, like, we just took a little bit, because we were both doing loss prevention at Walmart.
Okay. Nice. White trash as hell.
Oh,
yeah.
God. So good. We eat at Subway every day. Yeah. He worked at one of the Walmarts, like, down, like, it was, like, Highway 100, so he worked at one. I worked at the one. So we meet up, and it was so ridiculous. Sweet. But we, yeah, I used to be normal. I used to be a normal girl. But we
led a lot of lives.
So many lives. But we smoked it, and then I forgot what we did. Like we went out or whatever, and he was done, but there was still weed left, and I'm like, it's very much like cigarettes. So I'm like, well, it's here.
Yeah, might as well.
And then all of a sudden, I started smoking a little bit again, and then I had to quit because I got a job as an armored car driver.
Ooh, you drive around the money.
All the money.
Oh my god.
So much money.
Damn.
Only getting paid, I think, $10 an hour back then.
Oh, that's fucked up.
But I got to carry a gun.
Cool.
And that was super cool. Yeah, that was super fun.
Oh man.
That was rad.
Awesome.
It was so much fun. Yeah, and then I ended up trying to get another job at a better armored car place. But I was smoking weed, and then they actually did like a lie detector test.
Well, I guess if you're driving around with that cash.
So much money.
Yeah.
Like, I think the most we ever had in our truck at one time was $500 million.
In cash?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
It's just me and this, like, tiny little Hispanic girl as my partner.
Oh my god!
We ended up having
a heist in a second.
Yeah, we ended up having to pick up someone else's, like, a couple of stops because of, like, their truck went down or whatever. Yeah, and we were going to, like, the big
$500 million.
It was a lot of money.
How?
Well, a lot of it,
How did you not just drive away?
I don't think I lasted. Did I? Because I only worked at that in like 6 months. I would drive away and start
a new life in Mexico.
Yeah.
What? Are you kidding me?
I think it was like, I only worked there for
like 6 months. I would buy a town.
You could buy an island.
I would buy an island. I would buy a plane.
Oh yeah, no, that hurt. Like that really
I mean,
hurt.
I would buy everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of the money was getting destroyed though, because you know because they make new money and then they have to like go because we were going to the Federal Reserve or whatever. Yeah, because I was like. Because that's normally not our stop. Because normally, like, 2 big burly dudes do that. Like,
right. Oh, man. Yeah, women.
So if someone did it, if someone would have known that was just me and this girl, we would have.
If I would have known that it was you and a lady, I would have been like, all right, come on. Surely
there was a couple of times that I'm like, we could totally
drive away.
Because it was a ghetto-ass company. Like, because we were the only females that worked there, so our truck actually had, like, bullet holes in it. And shit. They just fuck with us and I don't know, they put us both together. Like, we had the most fun, though. It was amazing.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Yeah, I only lasted, like, 6 months there. Yeah, because being around all that money and, like,
how do you not?
And I am raised by criminals, so I was
I was not, and I would take it.
And I'm like, this is too tempting. I'm like, I'm trying to be better than them. I'm trying to go to school, you know, I want to do forensic pathology or whatever the fuck.
With all that money.
Oh, yeah, no, it was real bad. And then I just went back to stripping.
I'm like, well, the government sucks anyway. It's really not protecting us, even though it claims to be doing that. It's using our tax money to fund anti-abortion or anti-choice.
Yeah. Any of the, oh, fuck, I forgot what I was just going to say.
I got real carried away with that idea of driving your $500 million car away.
Oh, no, because all the money is, it's protected, it's insured. Like, we only have guns to protect ourselves.
Okay.
So that's it. And, like, most people that rob armored cars, like, know that. Be like, we know that, like, because all that money and shit is insured. So, like, fucking take it. So we could have very easily set up, like, a robbery.
Oh, shit.
And not get hurt, you know, or, like, act like we're getting shot at. Yeah.
You get some bum cell phones.
Yeah, because I'm not protecting your money, bitch, for $10 an hour.
$10 an hour. Fuck you.
No, you're gonna, it's just to protect you from bodily harm. And a lot of people who do rob, I'm giving way too many people ideas now. But
fucking whatever, man.
Should we go rob an armored car?
We should.
And then, especially now, and just live on an island would be fantastic.
Oh my god.
And grow our own mushrooms.
Oh, and weed.
We
could start our own country.
Oh, we could do that. I mean, the world is ending, apparently, in 20 years.
Oh, really?
Well, like Earth. We're not gonna...
That's a big one. Wait, the whole thing?
Like, it's not going to be, people aren't going to be able to live on it.
In 20?
They say in about 20 years, if we don't get our shit together.
Who's they?
Scientists.
Okay. 20 years is not a lot of time.
No, but I
can maybe have a kid in that time, but that's about it. Wow.
Do you want to have a kid?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to have sex again.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I don't really care about the kid thing right now.
Yeah, sex becomes before the kid.
Yeah,
but I mean, you can also have a kid without having sex. So that's...
Nah, I'd rather have this. I don't want the kid. I want the sex.
Yeah. That's normally, your brain is just like, you want a baby? No, I want to practice making babies.
Right. I'm really good at practicing.
Yeah, I never really had the urge to have babies, even when I did have my uterus.
Yeah.
And now I definitely don't have, because I see babies and they're so cute, and then they'll cry or they'll do something, and they're so fragile, and they're so fragile.
I live alone, like you. I live alone with my dog, and it's honestly the most fun time I've ever had in my life. Yeah, and I never want it to end, so I don't want a kid.
Yeah, like, even like right having a boyfriend or like someone like seeing someone regularly.
I would do that. I would do a boyfriend.
Yeah,
like a non-live-in boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm not looking for that. I don't think. I'm still I'm working on me still.
Yeah,
if it happens, it happens, which is fine. I tried a dating app. I actually went on my first online date.
Oh, yeah.
Well, since Hot or Not, if you remember.
Yeah.
The early 2000s. Met him on OkCupid, and it was all right. Very nice guy. His name was Mike, and he had a beard, and we know that's my type. Just white dudes named Mike with beards. I don't know why. I don't go for what likes me. I go for who likes me. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I would break you, like, mentally.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was just, it was that action, like, great to talk with and stuff. Obviously had a lot in common, but I'm like, no, this is not.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool, because I don't think he knew I was in porn ever. And
that's nice.
And that's a weird, that's a thing.
Do you like that? Did you like that? Because
Well, sometimes.
Learn about me from me, not the internet.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know. To be honest, because sometimes I like people to just know right away.
I still Google.
So that way I don't have to, explain it.
Right.
And talk about it because they already know.
Yeah.
But then there is that factor. It's like, oh, they see me with a dick in my mouth, kind of thing. And so that's a little, so there's that factor as well.
Yeah.
So no, dating's been interesting. Which is why I normally just get paid for it. It just keeps it simpler.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works, boo-boo.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
You gotta do whatever works.
I mean, it's not. I don't really do it anymore. But if someone wants to pay me $10,000, that'd be great.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
That'd be so awesome. Oh, it's been a long time. All right, where can people find you online?
Oh, my social media is at Krystyna Hutch, Krystyna. Guys We Fucked is available to listen on the Luminary app. I have a Patreon where I do episodes of my solo podcast, The Voices in Our Heads. So those are the places. And Austin, Texas,
Nice.
September 25th at 9 p.m. live, Guys We Fucked. You can watch it from anywhere in the world. You can get tickets. Just stream it live.
Oh, nice. So that's fun.
You can be anywhere and watch it, yeah.
Well, that's one cool thing about the quarantine is that, like, now people are like, we could stream these.
Yeah.
Because I did a couple shows, like, overseas in Vienna during quarantine.
It's fucking awesome, yeah.
I'm like, look at me, I'm in Europe.
Bye, guys. I'm going to steal this armored truck and move to Europe.
I think I may have caused. If you hear about any armored car robberies, it's probably
That's me. Like, I didn't know they carried that much.
Yeah, money's real heavy.
That's awesome.
It's so heavy. Obviously, you can find this wonderful podcast of How to Do Drugs Pod on Twitter and Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, Audible, and me, the Aaliyah Janine on Twitter, and Aaliyah.Janine on Instagram. Please rate and subscribe. Okay, thank you. Bye.